Who put the glad in gladiator? Whose daring deeds make great theater? Is he bold? No one braver. Is he sweet? Our favorite flavor. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Welcome to Teacup for One. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. Well, the day has finally arrived. Today, I am talking about my all-time favorite Disney movie. I think. I mean, it's really hard to pick a favorite Disney movie, but like, if I had to pick one, if I absolutely had to pick one Disney movie that I could just throw on at any time, a Disney movie that I could watch every day for the rest of my life without getting sick of, it would be Hercules. Hercules, Hercules. Now there are so many reasons that I love Hercules, which will take multiple videos to dive into. But today, we're talking about the Muses.
Yes, indeed!
Now one of the most amusing things about this movie is how much Greek mythology Disney manages to cram into those 90 minutes. And that's one of the things I loved about this movie so much growing up. It also came out when I was like around 10 and just hitting that phase when most kids get really into Greek mythology, so like the timing could not have been more perfect. What, that was just me? Now, of course, the plot is not historically accurate. This is Disney, and the narrative is like leaps and bounds away from the actual labors of Hercules. But you know what is historically accurate about this film? All of the Easter eggs. Seriously, this has to be like one of the most detailed Disney films of all time. And a big part of that is because a ton of the visuals and side characters all draw from the massive pool of stories and characters from Greek mythology. A perfect example? The Muses.
You go, girl.
Like, obviously, the Muses are one of the best parts of the film, just for the music alone. But on top of that, they are this brilliant depiction of, like, a literal Greek chorus popping in throughout the film to use music to comment on the action of the story. But also, did you know that all 5 Muses have names? Yeah, and like, this isn't one of those half-confirmed things from Disney where like the Beast's name is allegedly Prince Adam, but sometimes they deny it, sometimes they confirm it. No. All 5 Muses are based on actual Greek goddesses, and beyond that, their personalities and their actions are extensions of whatever they're meant to be the goddess of. Like, it's the little details like that that make Hercules the best Disney movie ever. Historically, there were actually 9 muses, and they were the goddesses of the arts and sciences, and they provided inspiration to artists and, scientists, probably. The 4 muses who did not make the cut in Disney's Hercules were Polyhymnia, the muse of religious music, agriculture, and geometry. Now, while it would have been really cool to have a farming mathematician muse in the movie, the music in Hercules aren't hymns, so I get the choice to cut her. Euterpe, the muse of love poetry and wedding songs. I wonder if she wrote the wobble. Urania, the goddess of astronomy and astrology, who apparently could use the stars to tell the future, and I feel like Disney might have pulled some inspiration from her for the Fates, but that's another video for another time. Finally, Euterpe, the muse of music, or Terpsichore, the muse of dance. It's actually kind of unclear and in a gray zone as to who's who, but we'll get to that. For now, let's look at the 5 muses that did make the cut. You know them, you love them, the musical ladies of Disney's Hercules. Starting with their leader, Calliope. Calliope is the oldest and the wisest out of all the muses. She's the one who's said to have inspired Homer to write the Odyssey, and she was considered by all the great Greek poets to be the chief of all muses. So basically, she's like the big sister muse who calls all the shots. She is the muse of epic poetry, which is exactly what it sounds like. Long, epic poems detailing ancient stories of gods, heroes, and monsters. So basically Hercules. Also, she is voiced by Broadway superstar Lillias, who did this.
Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Nobody is gonna rain on
No wonder she's the goddess of epic inspiration. Good job, Disney. Next we have Clio, voiced by R&B singer Vaneese Thomas. Clio is the muse of history. Beyond the obvious, the fact that Hercules is a history, her name comes from the Greek verbs meaning like to celebrate or to make famous, which is perfect because Hercules is all about Herc's rise in fame and being celebrated as this epic celebrity. However, one detail that I really love is that in classical art, she's usually depicted holding a scroll. So I think it's safe to say we can now count Disney animation as classical art. And then, like, the absolute best thing about her is that they made the muse of history the most pedantic one in the group. She's the one that gets all up in arms over the correct pronunciation of vase. Okay, next we have Melpomene, who's voiced by another Broadway superstar, Cheryl Freeman, who, fun story, I saw a headline of very mediocre production of Fame on Broadway during my high school drama class trip to New York City. I met her at the stage door, I got her autograph, I fanboyed really hard over the fact that she was one of the muses in Hercules. It was embarrassing and I would do it again in a second. Melpomene is the muse of tragedy, but not real life tragedy, like she didn't inspire the pandemic, no. Think more theatrical tragedy. So she's the one providing inspiration to all the people who are performing or writing those epic, great Greek tragedies like Agamemnon or Oedipus Rex. She's actually tied for my personal favorite muse. But Disney had so much fun with her. Like, as soon as we meet her, she's holding the Greek tragedy mask. She's the featured soloist in Gospel Truth 3, i.e. the tragic one where they're singing about Zeus and Hera losing Hercules to the mortal world. And during the Zero to Hero montage, she's the one who shows us the Hercules play. So, I mean, she's basically the low-key goddess of theater, and I love her. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. The muse voiced by LaChanze. Now, if you know Broadway, you know LaChanze. She replaced Audra McDonald in the original production of Ragtime. She won a Tony Award for the original production of The Color Purple. She is amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, which muse she's voicing is still kind of up for debate. Like, out of all 5 Disney muses, her muse is the only one that doesn't have any obvious ties to one of the original Greek muses. If I had to guess, solely based on the Hercules film, I would say she's probably Euterpe, the muse of music, just because music is a huge part of the Hercules film. And beyond that, in the first sequence, when we first meet the muses, she plucks a leaf off of the side of the vase and then starts fanning herself. And one of Euterpe's emblems was a laurel wreath, which is made of leaves, and okay, I know it's a stretch, but it's all I have to go off of. But she's widely accepted as being Terpsichore, the muse of dance. Mostly because there's an episode of Hercules the Animated Series where she introduces herself to Hercules as Terpsichore, the muse of dance, and then inspires him to learn how to dance. That is damning evidence. So I guess we should accept that in Hercules canon, she is Terpsichore, the muse of dance, but in my heart she's always going to be the muse of music because it feels wrong for Hercules to not have the muse of music present. Am I right? Let me know in the comment section down below. And finally, we have Thalia, voiced by actress and comedian Roz Ryan. Thalia is the muse of comedy. I don't think I have to say much more than that.
Honey, you mean Hercules!
Honestly, I think I speak for everyone when I say she is the best muse. But if I don't speak for everyone and you love another muse more, let me know in the comment section down below. But for now, friends, this concludes yet another episode of Teacup 401. Seriously though, please let me know in the comment section below which muse is your favorite. And if you want to hear me talk even more about Disney or do some follow-up videos about other reasons that I love Hercules, or if you want to stay tuned for an extra special Christmas project that I'm working on, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. It is so easy. All you have to do is click on my face. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the tea cup for 1. Go away.